and root them on as we choose our first hackathon winner. On behalf of all of the team at Life Science Cares, I'm Sarah McDonald, and we are so thrilled to really realize this vision that has been on Life Science Cares' agenda to better organize and connect the expertise within our industry with some of the needs that our nonprofit partners face. And so this has been a pilot program for us, and we truly appreciate the teams from Wave Life Sciences, Vistera, and Alnylam that were incredibly good sports as we tested out the process and program of a hackathon. Just so folks who've joined us who haven't participated on the teams have some context, this has been about a 2-week process. All of the teams participated in a kickoff session where our great partners at the Pine Street Inn presented information about a challenge they face in really scaling their food production and distribution through their iCater program. After those kickoff presentations, each team was invited to participate collectively and then separately in office hours, more opportunities for the teams to ask questions of the Pine Street Inn staff, to brainstorm among themselves. And then this week in 1-hour sessions, the teams each presented their solutions and suggestions to a slate of judges that included some of the folks from Life Science Cares Board of Advisors, who you see here today, Joe Farmer, Paul Clancy, and Narissa Kraher, and judges from the Pine Street Inn. Blake Poole, Courtney Forrester, and Roger Willington are on as well. Those judges compiled their scores in 4 different areas of focus, and I'll let we'll talk a little bit about that as we get towards the announcing the winners part. And then today we've asked each team to present a brief synopsis of their presentation so that teams can see what each other worked on before we get to the results of the hackathon. Just a couple of housekeeping things. If folks can try to keep themselves muted, and for the teams who have sent ahead your presentations, we're actually going to ask you to share your screens and present yourselves, just to avoid the next slide type of direction that has to happen if we're leading the charge. So if folks are just prepared, Amber's going to add you as co-host so you can present your screens. So in no particular order, we're going to ask the teams from Wave, then Alnylam, then Vistera to share their brief presentations, and we'll take it from there. So the team from Wave, who will be presenting this afternoon?
That will be David.
Yeah, hi Sarah. David and Daryl are going to quickly present. So I will share my screen.
It's pure in the, okay.
Sarah, can you guys see my screen?
We can, although we see it as the PowerPoint and not a slideshow presentation.
How's that?
If that matters.
Is that better?
You might need to stop share and reshare again to refresh.
There
we go. You're
okay.
Good.
Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys can all see this now. So I'm just going to, Daryl and I will represent the team from Wave today. Just to start off, you can see the team here, and I think we were all super excited for this opportunity. So thanks to Pine Street Inn folks, the judges, and everybody involved. I think many people in the biotech industry, we really love and value these opportunities to get out of the office and as an excuse, but really just to give back to the community in a way that isn't always reflective of our day job. And I think in this COVID environment, that's tough. And so we really appreciate this Life Science Cares initiative to find a way to do something a little bit different and unique and take a risk. And I think it really paid off. And we had a lot of fun and we found it quite valuable. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So just as a quick summary of what we proposed for the hackathon, I'll go through a few of the initial solutions, and then Daryl will take over for some of the hardware stuff. For the first step, we looked at providing looking into software solutions, things that could be rapidly incorporated at a relatively inexpensive cost, often due to some nonprofit pricing that some of these software solutions provide. So specifically DocuSign and SharePoint, two things that we at Wave use, and I'm sure many other folks use and have incorporated, that can be pretty easily incorporated, and speaking as a non-IT expert, don't require a heavy IT pedigree. So we really recommended those in some specific use cases we proposed they could help with contracting and also the order adjustment, even so far as to thinking ahead to how this might impact customer-facing materials to help with, say, parking solutions, getting that out in front in the contract stage. We heard that was one of the pain points for the delivery aspect. And then SharePoint could really help with the order adjustment process. SharePoint's come a long way since I think many of us all have gone through the growing pains, and it's really come a long way. And there's a lot of easy to use solutions that are built into SharePoint, easy integration with things like Teams and with DocuSign. So we proposed this. It was fairly straightforward and could be relatively low cost and easily incorporated. And I'll let Daryl talk a little bit about the hardware solutions that we proposed.
Thank you, David. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for the opportunity to work with you all on this project. It has been a fun time. So I don't want to talk too long, so I'm going to get it quickly as we can. As far as our hardware solutions, we kind of dove into the packaging, delivery, and truck aspect of it. So we came up with a solution for racks that could be installed in the trucks to allow them to utilize some of the dead space that they had said that they weren't using. And as far as the temperature control during delivery, we came up with some insulation options for their trucks that they could use to insulate their trucks to make it so that the food stays warmer during delivery. Then we had also dove into packaging. As it is right now, they're using a single serve sealer that probably takes upwards of 2 minutes per container. We went and we looked at some solutions to that, and we were able to come up with a automated machine that does 3 containers every 20 seconds. So it's a lot faster, a lot more efficient, a lot easier, and can produce a lot more individually packaged meals per day to get them to that 5,000 package quota that they were looking to get to. And that was pretty much our solutions as far as that goes. Oh, and then storage solutions. They said that they had some issues with storage space. We had some sliding racks that we had gone and put in for a quote for them to show them what they could use to better organize their storage area to get more out of it. That's pretty much what we got for you. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the showcase.
Awesome, thanks, Daryl. And then just one other aspect or two, I think, is one, as noted here, we also tried to build on the Pine Street Inn's mission-driven culture. I think it aligned nicely with what we at Wave. We have a very patient-centric culture, like I'm sure many other life science companies do. So that was a nice aspect to try to incorporate. And also, we hope that one day when this COVID situation is over, that we can kind of pick this back up and think about how we can collaborate in the future for come on site and actually see some of these hopeful solutions in on site and in a live environment and be done with this virtual situation. So that's the quick recap of our proposal.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Wave team. We appreciate your energy and enthusiasm in researching those solutions. Next up to make their presentation, I will turn it over to Sufyan from Al Nilam to share their thought process.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my slides? And then I'm going to make it a little bigger.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, perfect. So thank you for the opportunity. So we put together a pluridisciplinary team for this hackathon. It was a lot of fun for us. Not all of us knew each other, so just working together as a team and working for a great cause was a privilege. So thank you. And I'll present the team here. So in our team, we have Michelle from our corporate communication, myself, Sufyan from finance. We have Sarah and Ryan from our research team, and Jen from our training team. And as a background on how we went about this, we first had a listening session, really learning what iCater's leadership is looking for and what the pain points are. And as we've learned more about the company and where their pain points are, we decided to focus on the distribution aspect of the business. And you will see throughout that all our solutions are really tailored to use existing material infrastructure whenever possible. And in doing so, we made sure that we look at the physical aspect, technology, and human aspects of these areas. So we'll talk about parking, overall organization, route delivery, as well as mindfulness as a potential solution for issues that the company is having. I'll turn over to Sarah to talk about our proposed solution for parking.
Thank you. So the first pain point that we had wanted to address was parking of the delivery trucks when they're not en route, because we know there are no uniquely designated parking spots around the facility other than the loading dock, and that the city of Boston can't support helping to find parking. So our proposed solution, just quickly in summary, was to reach out to neighboring businesses and organizations, kind of from the perspective of marketing this as a sponsorship or an ability to partner with those businesses who might have access to parking, especially if it's slightly altered during COVID. It might be a good time to start that relationship. So this would be something where, you know, Pine Street Inn could also have some sponsorship perks, such as shout outs on social media, advertising, and such. So two ways to approach this. The first being to actively reach out to organizations and kind of have a tailored proposal. Example of that would be GTI Properties, who are in the area. They have several parking lots in the area, and they're really devoted to the neighborhood. So it might be a good organization to reach out to and partner with. The other way would just be a general call for support through the newsletters, social media accounts, listing, finding parking agreements as another way to sponsor Pine Street Inn. So with that, I'll hand it over to Jen.
Thanks, Sarah. I focused a little bit more on your physical organizational improvements within the truck. So we suggested either bin or shelving to create that increased capacity to load all of your individual units. The coding system is something I'm particularly proud of. The intent is to make a unique identifying tag for each of your sites. And within these tags, if you refer to the table, you'll see it breaks it down to designated vehicle, which stop it is, the location, the name of your site, and where it is if you have multiple similar name ones. The whole string of letters, numbers, colors, maybe even shapes is also to make sure you're accommodating for either limited colors, dyslexia, color blindness, anything like that. And then we also suggested preloading anything shelf stable, because that will give you more time within your food safety window to actually handle your hot food. With that, I'll hand it off to Ryan.
So I looked into delivery route improvements. So they previously mentioned that they use GeoTab for fleet management to track the trucks, the gas usage of the trucks and where the trucks are. And so I looked into adding additional software programs to the GeoTab software that they currently have to help solve some of their customers facing issues. One of them is Notify for Me, where customers can track the driver in real time. So, and then the next software is looking at VisiaTrack, which is another software which allows documentation to capture information from the deliveries, where you can basically get signatures of receipt and a receipt from delivery, time of arrival, departure, and you can create a checklist of things for the driver can do at the customer site. And with that, I'll pass it off to Michelle.
And for my session, my part was to work on integrating mindfulness and also looking at breathing sessions for drivers. Basically, what that means is allowing drivers to have a moment to be able to regroup, reset, focus themselves. And that brings to them a sense of control, and they're also able to gather their thoughts so that they can be more productive in making their deliveries, and also to keeping in mind the human aspect of allowing them to be able to provide their creative thoughts, their intuition, so that they're able to adapt to changing situations, whether it be that there's congested traffic on the roads, they're dealing with inclement weather where roads are more narrower, and it might mean that they need to find a different route to get there to their destination. So we really want to be able to make certain that drivers are less distracted, they have a creative process flow, and they're able to adapt to when situations that could be stressful are no longer as stressful to them because they've had that moment that they can allow for themselves to refocus and regroup, giving themselves a chance to be able to really be professionals in their jobs and enjoy what it is that they do. And with that, I thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. So this was our challenge. We accepted it, and we appreciate the collaboration. We hope that these ideas will help Cater improve on their distribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, El Nilam team. And hopefully you all are realizing how each team took a slightly different tact in looking at the challenges or prioritizing the challenges, which was a really sort of exciting finding as we all watched the presentations. That continued to be the case with our third team, who focused on a slightly different angle as well. I'll turn it over to John with Team Vistera.
Thank you. And let me get it into presentation mode. All right, everyone can see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Great. So I'm John, leading Team Vistera. We're comprised of Sophie Kim and Sarah Cole, both research associates, Karthik Viswanathan, the director of research, and Jonathan Lonzak, director of program management. So similar to the other team, we really tried to first look at the challenges Pine Street was experiencing and focus on the bottlenecks. And the area that we wanted to focus on the most was that packaging and distribution, recognizing, and we had to hack a solution in 2 weeks and figured that was an area we could wrap our heads around most quickly. So what we heard was some of the delivery challenges, of food maybe not arriving hot, or the limitations and the delivery window bottlenecked by needing the food to be either hot or cold. So our suggested solution was to switch to using insulated or preferably electric Cambro carts on casters. So the electric carts could plug in and either heat or cool the food, and they could be placed in the staging area, so they could be loaded for the day of delivery, and the entire cart could be transferred to the truck. So we saw this as having the advantage of increasing the hot and cold storage capacity, which we understood to be another limitation and bottleneck. Potentially speeding the truck loading times because you could just roll the entire cart and it's already stacked up. Improve the temperature fidelity of the food, and potentially reduce the number of deliveries needed because multiple meals could be delivered at once and maintained at temperature. So looking at the workflow here, it would be similar to what's currently done in preparing the bulk food. The bulk food is then stored in the walk-in cooler, but once it's portioned out into individual servings, it could go into these Cambro racks and stored there until moving to the truck. We also suggested that the Cambro racks have the order list on them, so they could be checked off with the individual items as they were put into the rack so the driver could very quickly double check the list when loading the rack onto the truck. So, and I just want to echo what the other team said too. I think we really enjoyed learning more about Pine Street. Had a fun time hacking a solution here together, and it was a fun opportunity too to bring together different people within Vistera that we don't always work as closely with together in our individual roles.
Awesome. Thank you, John. That was a great summary. So I'm going to hold some of my takeaways till we get later in the program, but we did want to allow some of the judges to share their thoughts and contributions and sort of takeaways from this whole process with the teams collectively. So I am going to just turn it over to the folks at Pine Street Inn to talk a little bit about their experience in this process.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. I'm Scotty Waite. This has been an incredible experience for our team. You know, when Life Science Cares reached out to us about this, we had, you know, immediate response from the iCater team that they were interested, and working with Life Science Cares and Slalom has been amazing. April, Taiwo, and Sharon have just been incredible to work with. I want to thank you all for your time, and just, you know, thank our judges. Our judges have put some time into this and really, you know, asked the right questions and thought critically about the presentations. But I especially want to thank the teams that worked on this event, from Wave Life Science, Anilum, and Visteria. You have been so amazing. You really took a deep dive in your questions, and you really got to the, you know, the nitty gritty on things, and your presentations were right on point. So I want to thank you for your time. We very much look forward to the days when we can welcome you to Pine Street to volunteer, and I am holding you all to it that you will come and volunteer. You know, the partnership with Life Science Cares started about 4 years ago, and it has been so incredible to see how it's grown, but also all the team members and the partners that have come in through Life Science Cares. And it's such a strong partnership, and we so value and appreciate it. So we're really excited to have you part of our team. I think the enthusiasm and the leadership and the direction has just been top notch. So I'm going to pass it over to Roger, who oversees iCater and our food services team, and he's going to say a few words as well.
Roger, you're on mute.
Thank you. I always repeat what Scotty said, but I do truly echo her sentiments. You know, when Sarah opened and she said, our first ever hackathon, I literally got chills. Because Pine Street Inn and iCater is now associated with something that I hope will become a legacy, that years from now we could say, we did the first hackathon. And iCater was part of that. So that's truly amazing. You know, I don't know how the judges are going to play this one off, because all three presentations were indeed top-notch. What I shared with Scotty yesterday, over the years, and I've been at Pine Street now for about 29 years, we've worked with a number of groups since running this enterprise, colleges, volunteers, on various ideas and things we can do. You came in, and in 2 weeks, all three groups, you identified a varied amount of challenges and issues, and just came with these solutions that you presented to us in such a short space of time. We're really, truly grateful. The judges are going to have a hard time making a decision, but I don't say this lightly when I say all three groups are winners, because I certainly saw in all three presentations elements that I know we could implement. So at the end of the day, one group is going to be crowned winner, but I want you to know that I truly believe you're all winners, and there are pieces of this that we'll take, and each of you will leave your mark on Aikido years to come. So thank you very, very much, and we look forward to the ongoing work.
Awesome. So now from the industry side, I will introduce Joe Farmer, one of Life Science Care's advisors. And I will tell you, a tough cookie when it comes to judging presentations. He's served on our grant review committees before. So if he's impressed, you all should be very proud. Joe?
Tough on the outside, soft on the inside, though. Roger actually just stole some of my thunder on using the very trite "everybody's a winner" thing, but I'll get to that in a minute. I can tell you the thing that really impressed all of us was just the level of enthusiasm that all the teams took towards this and how seriously you all took it. I mean, it was very obvious you all invested a ton of time, A, doing your homework and just understanding what the challenges are on the front end, and then B, doing all the work to come up with all these potential solutions, and then C, being here and presenting, your individual presentations and now this. So really well done. It was really, really impressive, just the commitment level and the time commitment you all gave. That enthusiasm came out, which was really honestly inspiring. And it really was, it's hard to judge because everyone came at it from a slightly different angle, but with equal amounts of creativity. And so it's hard to say which one is better or worse than others. But talking to the Pine Street Inn folks, when we were talking after each presentation, it's clear, like Roger said, that there are elements of everyone's presentations that are going to be utilized going forward. So it really is sort of everyone's a winner type thing, even though that sounds sort of lame, but I think it's very, very true. I think just highlights, for the Wave team, really digging in the technology solutions like SharePoint and DocuSign was very creative. Alnylam came at it with a mindfulness approach in one of their solutions, which we thought was a really, really interesting and unique way to come at it. And then Vistera, came at it with, hey, I know some of the solutions we're proposing are expensive, but here are some proposed solutions for how to get the money to pay for all this. So everyone did a really thorough job and spent a ton of time. So, and then the last thing that I think impressed all of us the most was, and this came out today, every single team is so into it that they're committed to continue to work with Pine Street and want to work with them in the future, which is awesome. So well done by everybody. And now I don't know how we pick a winner.
Well, luckily, we have someone who's going to help us do that based on the cold, hard numbers. And these were difficult discussions and conversations amongst the judges. But April, we'll turn it over to you to go through how we got to winners today.
All right, thank you, Sarah, and thank you, everyone. This, I don't know that I can say much more than what has already been said, but, this was a small idea late last year that we brought to Life Sciences Cares. They said, sure, let's give it a try. And I think we were all kind of waited with bated breath of how are we going to do this? We kind of figured it out along the way. And I can say coming out of the other side of this has truly been one of my proudest projects that I have worked on in my career. Has just been really personally fulfilling for me. And, it's really been a result of all of the commitment that all of you have made to this. And I am really looking forward to 6 months from now and see where Pine Street Inn is and in implementing some of these ideas. And we certainly hope to maybe revisit with this team and give you all an update on where things are going. And we certainly look forward to seeing your participation. I think we can all agree, it's certainly tough when you think about identifying one winner out of all of this, because truly, when you think about who the real winner is, it's Pine Street Inn. They have really benefited from all of your ideas. And really, there's just so many things across the teams. This is just so much more than I think we had ever anticipated coming out of this. But with that, I know everybody is anxiously awaiting the announcement of the winners here. So I know we said we were going to have one overall winner, but as we were thinking about it, we said, we really need to do a little bit more. And we decided to Highlight the team that got the value impact. So if you remember, we had 2 categories that we really wanted to focus on: value impact and feasibility. Each of those were given 40% of the score. So we wanted to recognize the teams that got the high score for value impact, the teams that got the high score for feasibility. And then we also wanted to recognize the most creative idea. So of all the things, what was something that was sort of unexpected that just really you know, hit us? And then obviously we will award the overall winner based on the scoring. So the most valuable impact award winner goes to WAVE Life Sciences. Yay. You know, I think it's just really looking at the ceiling of the packages and looking at some of the time savings, that the efficiencies that that's gaining, also some of the sliding racks. I think, you know, as we debrief, there's a lot of impact in terms of just efficiencies and some of the things, and the thoroughness in the solution that you brought together. So congratulations to WAVE on the most valuable impact high score. So the next one was most feasible, right? So as we think about these, the solutions, how easy are they to implement? And how easy are they to maintain? That was really kind of the key thing, right? Because at the end of the day, there could be a really great idea, but if it's hard to implement, obviously, you know, won't be able to do it. So with that, the winners, we had 2 winners for most feasible. It was a tie score between Vistira and Alnylam. So we really liked, you know, Vistira, you know, you focused in on one, you know, really kind of one core area, but we love that, you know, it was really thought through, and back to Joe's point, you all decided to go deep, and that's great, right? I think each team took a different approach. We really like that. And we certainly think Alnylam, you had some really just like easy things to implement. You know, I think some of the mindfulness piece, right? That's something that they can use, you know, a program they have today and extend that on to their drivers. So, so well done on the feasibility award. All right, the next one was around the most creative idea, and that one went to Alnylam. Really, that mindfulness idea. I think everyone took a collective breath when they heard this, and just thought that was a really nice idea, and just really thinking about the drivers. And I think taking this idea of human-centered design that we talked about at the beginning, and really thinking about the people who are doing this day in and day out, and really coming at it from their point of view. So well done, Alnylam, on that. So with that, we will go to the overall winner, and I'll do a little bit of a drum roll here. Our overall winner for our inaugural Life Sciences Care Hackathon is WAVE Life Sciences. Congratulations. We can certainly all come off mute.
Yeah, everybody can unmute themselves and we can celebrate.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Yay! Awesome.
So, really well done. You know, like I said, all of the teams, you know, you all really, this was a hard decision, but when we took our scientific approach and did our scoring in our spreadsheets, the overall high score did go to WAVE, and you know, just job well done in a comprehensive solution. And I think you guys did a really great job in developing out the cost and really, you know, bringing a thorough solution. So I think the final words, you know, I just want to leave you all with, again, this was a collective team event, right? We really pulled this off, you know, obviously with the teams first and foremost. You took time out of your busy schedules to come together as cross-functional teams. I love hearing the idea that we had different people represented from different parts who haven't worked together. That was just really cool, and just something we hadn't thought about. So that was really great to hear. Obviously, Pine Street Inn, you know, I think we were throwing information requests at you over the past couple of weeks, and you delivered and brought it back, you know, responded quickly. And I think at the end of the day, really made a difference in the solutions that were proposed. And then obviously, you know, just our hackathon team, you know, just the folks at Life Sciences Cares. We also had Jim Cavino and Jen Fabrizi, who helped us with the human-centered design and design thinking during our kickoff. And obviously, you know, I just want to thank my team, Taiwo and Sharon, who have really been kind of the engine behind all of this. So, so with that, you know, I just want to say thank you. And I don't know, Sarah, if there was anything else you want to take to close this out.
Yeah, just a couple of thoughts from Life Science Care's perspective. First of all, thank you to April and Sharon and Taiwo, the team at Slalom that has been really an incredible thought partner for Life Science Cares as we work to develop programs that are really able to connect the industry and its resources with our nonprofit partners. So we couldn't thank you guys enough. To all of the teams and the team members that participated, we would love feedback on the process, on how you felt about the process. This is, you know, as our inaugural event, very much a learning opportunity for us at Life Science Cares. And so we would love any feedback you have on how to do this better. It is our intention to do this again, which, you know, we didn't want to assume going into this inaugural one that it would be wildly successful, but have been so pleased at not only the energy and enthusiasm the teams have showed, but really the solid solutions presented that I know Pine Street Inn is going to take and run with them. So we didn't address, there'll be some sort of prize that goes out to the team members. I'll be honest, we haven't quite figured out our swag since we're just working in our basements right now, but there will be some way to commemorate your participation in this first competition. And we'll be sharing the news of the hackathon and the winners broadly with our social media, as well as a press release that will go out by early next week. So hopefully you all will get a little bit of buzz and attention for your participation as well. And then I guess finally, we do want to continue to build the connections and follow up with all of you to make sure that you can continue to engage with Pine Street Inn. I know Scotty and the team are really, really anxious to get volunteers back at the inn. And when they do, we will let you know, and you all will be on the list to come and actually take a look at the iCater operation and all of the incredible programs that the inn supports. So mark your calendars for whenever we are able to show up in person and volunteer again. You'll be the first ones we call. So with that, I just want to thank everybody for participating, our judges, the team members, the leadership teams at your companies that supported this effort. We are truly grateful for all of your support in making a difference in the community. So thanks for joining, and we'll see all of you soon.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.